Welcome to our weekly program, The Inside Story of Chabad in America through the Mindel Archives. There are many letters from the Rebbe, many letters, that answers to people about people have issues with children. Some people have issues with tznius. Some people, children went off the derech. Shidduchim, schools, chinuch, many. So there are many letters from the Rebbe. Now, I chose here one letter that is a ikadika letter that the Rebbe mentions 3 points how we should deal with the children. What should we do? This is a letter to parents. Now, there are problems, and everybody has different issues, but every letter more or less has these 3 points in them. So I thought I would choose this letter that speaks about these 3 points. So this person, the Rebbe says here, he asked how to deal with his oldest daughter, and he needs guidance. So the Rebbe answers, and by the way, I think that people go to psychologists and to different advice. I think if we read the Rebbe's letters, and the Rebbe speaks about it, how to deal with children, I think this is more important than all psychologists. The Rebbe Poshet, there's all different things, but this is a ikadik ezach. So the Rebbe answers here, bringing up children requires several basic principles. Number 1, parents must always try to provide a shining example to their children of the kind of conduct that they would like to see in them. Which is to be a dugma chaya, to be a living example. This is number 1, the Rebbe says. Moreover, children usually think that insofar as they are concerned, it will be quite sufficient for them to have standards which are only half as good as these of their parents. Parents must take this into account and see to it that their own standards are at least twice as high as the minimum they expect of their children. So we see from here how a parent should be. Now, I heard from Rabbi Chadakov, and I mentioned it once, and Rabbi Chadakov said many times, he said, Kabed esovicho vesimecho, honor your parents, doesn't only mean that a child should honor the parents. He says, Kabed esovicho vesimecho, honor the father that is within you, vesimecho, and the mother that is within you. If you're a father, he says, behave like a father. Honor father. You go to, or mother. You wake up like a father and mother. You eat like a father and mother. You go to shul like a father. You behave in shul like a father. You go shopping like a father and mother. You eat like a father. Anything you do 24 hours a day. Then, Laman Yarichon Yamecha, then you'll have dachas from your children. The children will see a dugma chaya. This is part of the whole thing. As somebody once said, a child didn't answer Omen Yehish Rabbi, and the father screamed at him. So he said, with that patch in the mingle that he didn't see Omen Yehish Rabbi, with that patch in the father, not the ingle. I mean, it's a saying. In other words, if he would see that the father doesn't speak in davening, he also wouldn't speak in davening. Honor father all the time. And then Rabbi Charikov once mentioned, he says, I mean, a bifrat, when sometimes a child hears that the parents doesn't say the truth, how do you expect the child should grow up? When the telephone rings and the mother says to the child, pick up the phone, and they ask, if I'm here, say I'm not home. So how do you expect that the child should be? So it seems from all this that the main thing is the parents. In order to have nachas from the children, this is the parents have to behave, they have to be a real living example. This is number one. This is what the Rebbe writes here. Number two, the Rebbe writes, parents should know the influences of children in school is constantly exposed. School, neighbors, negative influences. Jews were always the minority. So it's important always to implant in the Jewish child from early youth a feeling of pride in the heritage and tradition of parents and ancestors. And this is a strong feeling. Now, they have to know, first of all, parents have to know who are the chaverim, who are the friends. The Rebbe told many times, and these are in the other letters, people asked them, the Rebbe, what yeshiva they to go to, this yeshiva. So the Rebbe says, it's not important, the Rosh Yeshiva. It's not important, the teacher. It's important, the chaverim. Who are the friends? Parents always have to know, the Rebbe writes here, who are their friends. They should always be on top of it. Then they will have nachas from their children. And the Rebbe writes in another letter, not here, that I saw, one of the letters of the also Chinuch, the Rebbe writes, Amigita Broche, you say you should have Bone, Chaya, Umezene Reviche. Bone means you should have good children. Chaya means life. Umezene Reviche and Parnasa. So the question is, it should have been Chaya, Bone, Umezene. Isn't life more important? Nevertheless, the Rebbe says first Bone. So he says, when a person has good children and they sees that they follow the derech of the parents, derech of Atayra mitzvah, then chaya, then the lebim is a good lebim, the life is a life, and parnasa is whatever the Eibishter gives, parnasa. And the Rebbe mentioned over there, and if you have $1 million, you eat different bread, the same rye bread as the poor person eats, the rich person eats. Or the same bed, the same mattress, this sleeps. You have a golden mattress. So in other words, the ikir is not the people have millions of dollars and they're very wealthy and they're not happy. Why? Because they have children, they have don nachas. So that's why it says, Bon nechaya. First comes children. If the children behave the way they're supposed to, then but how? Everything depends on the parents. That's number two. Now the Rebbe writes number three. One important and essential is, since God blessed you with children who require the attention, love, and upbringing of both parents, and thereby underlined both, and the children are surely entitled to receive what is due to them from their parents. There can be no shadow of a doubt that each of you should do everything possible not to strain the relationship, but on the contrary, strengthen your shalom bayis. It's important, the shalom bayis. When children see in the home that there is harmony between husband and wife, shalom bayis, then the children will it's important, will feel, and they see that the parents, both of them, care, and there's peace in the house. That's very important, the shalom bayis. It's mentioned in a place about shalom bayis. One of the letters, the Rabbi mentioned a word. why, but when Chos and Kala, when they get married, why does the Chosn give the Kala a plain ring under the chuppah? Why not a diamond ring? So it's mentioned, like, by the way, if a diamond ring falls on the floor and it breaks, you can fix it. But a professional that fixes, he can always tell the spot that was damaged, the place that was broken. You can always see. But when a plain ring falls on the floor and it breaks, and you can fix it, then you fix it in such a way that you can't even tell that it was ever broken. So he says there that later on in life, when a person is married and they have children, and not, ain't they saying Shavi, sometimes they get into certain arguments, certain difficulties. This one thinks this way, the husband thinks like this, and the wife thinks like this, and this. So they should always think back on the day that he gave her a plain ring, that if something a little broken, so they could always fix it, that you shouldn't even see like it was ever broken lechatchila. And if the children see that kind of behavior, then this is a good thing for the children. And it's important to have peace and harmony between husband and wife, as mentioned among the mitzvahs whose fruit a Jew enjoys in this world, while the capital remains for the world to come. We say every morning, Ein lahem shiur hapeyo v'abikurim, and it's v'avo shalom bein ish le'ishtoi. And that's another answer why how to have nachas from children. I mean, there's a lot of other things, but these are the 3 points. And one more thing I want to say, that the Rebbe mentioned, that some people have a minhag to have a mezuzah have on a slant, not straight. Why on a slant? To show that this home compromises. It's not everything that he says goes, the husband or the wife says, that this is a compromise. And when this house, the ruach, is a home that the husband and wife compromise, then the nachas will come with the children. Mitzvah next week, we will continue our weekly program. Thank you.